this lesson. So in this video, we proceed by looking at the objectives of the operating system, and then later on we shall look at the generation of the operating system. So to start with the objectives of the operating system. So the first objective of the operating system is resource management. The first objective of the operating system is resource management. So first objective is resource. Okay, resource management. So this is the first objective of the operating system, resource management. Okay, so now when you talk of resource management, this means that the operating system manages the CPU. This means that the operating system manages the CPU. CPU means Central Processing Unit. It also manages the memory within the computer, and then also the operating system manages the input and output devices. Okay, so to enable efficient utilization of resources. So under resource management, we are saying that the operating system manages the CPU, it also manages the memory, and also manages the input devices and output devices. So the first objective of the operating system is resource management. Now let us also proceed by looking at the second objective of the operating system. So the second objective of the operating system is processes management. Processes management. So second objective is processes management. Okay, so processes management. This is the second objective of the operating system. Okay, so processes management. So now under processes management, here we are saying that the operating system handles program execution. Under processes management, the operating system handles processes or programs termination. Okay, program termination or program execution. Okay, so it handles the creation, it handles the scheduling, it handles the termination processes under processes management. Okay, so the first objective was resource management, and then the second objective of the operating system is processes management. Okay, now let us also proceed by looking at the third objective of the operating system. So the third objective of the operating system is file system management. File system management. Okay, file system management. So this is the third objective. The third objective is file system management. Okay, now under file system management, here we are saying that here the operating system ensures that there is an hierarchy. So it provides hierarchy in the storage of data. Here under file system management, the operating system provides hierarchy for the data storage. So the operating system provides hierarchy for data storage under file system management. Okay, now apart from file system management, we have the fourth objectives of the operating system, and the fourth one is security and access control. The fourth one is security and access control. So security and access control. Okay, so now under security and access control, the operating system enforces security and control access resources within the machine. The operating system enforces security and control access resources within the computer. So that's why we're saying that the fourth objective of the operating system is security and access control. Okay, now apart from that, we have the fifth objective of the operating system, which is device management. So the fifth objective of the operating system is device management. Okay, so device management. So we have device management as the fifth objective of the operating system. So under the device management, the operating system controls the input devices and the output devices and other devices that operate within the computer. So under the device management, we are saying that the operating system controls the input devices and the output devices. Okay, so apart from the device management, we have the sixth objective of the operating system, which is user interface. So the sixth objective of the operating system is no other than user interface. User interface. Okay, so remember, when we started looking at the operating system, we talked about the user interface, the operating system acting as the interface or user interface. So here, where we are saying that another objective of the operating system is user interface, this means that the operating system is user-friendly, okay, is user-friendly within the system, okay. So the operating system is user-friendly on the system. It is user-friendly. So remember, these are some of the objectives of the operating system. So we have talked about the resource management, we have also talked about the process management, we have talked about the file system management, and then we have talked about the device management, we have talked about the control and access, we have talked about the security and control access, we have talked about the user interface as the operating system. So these are some of the objectives of the operating system. Okay, so remember we said that after looking at the objectives of the operating system, we shall proceed by looking at the generation of the operating system. So even the operating system, which is the user interface, which enables the user to interact with the hardware, as also the generation. So let us now proceed by looking at the generations of the operating system. Okay? So we proceed by looking at the generations of the operating system, the generation of the operating system. Okay, so let us proceed by looking at the generations of the operating system. Okay? So generation of the operating system. Generation of the operating system. Okay. So generations of the operating system. Okay, so now under the generation of the operating system, we have 5 generations of the operating system. Okay, we have 5 generations of the operating system. 5 generations of the operating system. The first generation is the 0 generation of the operating system. So the first one is the 0 generation of the operating system, and then we have the first generation, which started in 1945 to 1955. And then we have the second generation, which started in 1955 to 1965. Okay? And then we have the third generation that started in 1965 to 1980, and then we have the fourth generation that started in 1980 up to now. Okay, so we have 5 generations of the operating system. So remember I said that there is 0 generation. Now under 0 generation, this is mechanical. Okay, so under 0 generation, there was use of mechanical. And then where there's an aspect of mechanical, meaning there are machineries that are involved. So under 0 generation, there's an aspect of mechanical. They use machinery. So under the 0 generation, they were using gears just to operate the machine, just to operate a computer, just to operate a machine that was called a computer. They were using gears and wheels. Okay, just to operate a machine, they were using gears and wheels in order to operate it. Okay, and then now we have the first generation that started in 1945 to 1955. Under this generation, they used vacuum tube. Under this generation, they used vacuum tube as the operating system and also the blackboard. Under first generation, which was in 1945, they used vacuum tube and the blackboard. Okay, and then we also have the second generation, which was from 1955 to 1965, where they used the transistor. So here they used the transistor and batch system as the operating system. So under the second generation, they used the transistors and the batch system as an operating system. Okay, so and then under the third generation of the operating system, here they used integrated circuits. Here they used integrated circuit as the operating system, it was silicon. And then we have the fourth or the fifth generation, which was in 1980 up to now, where they used a personal computer, which was PC. Now, personal computer came with the use of Windows. So it came with the use of Windows. It can be Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11, Plum and what, and so on and so forth. And then we saw also the coming of Linux, Ubuntu as operating system under the PC, which was the fifth generation. So we have talked about the zero generation. We have talked about the zero generation. Okay, zero generation. So we have talked about the zero generation. So under zero generation, we saw the coming of the wheels. Okay, here there was mechanical use of machinery. So in order to operate a machine, it was called a computer, they were using wheels or gears. Okay, so they were using wheels or gears in order to operate. And then we also have the first generation. So under the first generation of the operating system, first generation was in 1945 to 1955. 1945 to 1955, we had the first generation where they were using vacuum. They were using vacuum tubes, okay? They were using vacuum tubes, okay? They were using vacuum tubes and plug boards, okay? Vacuum tubes and plug boards. And then we have the second generation. We have the second generation, okay? Second generation of the operating system. Second generation of the operating system, which started in 1955 to 1965. So here we saw the coming of the transistor. We saw the coming of the transistor. Okay, so here they use the transistor and the batch system as the operating system. And then we have the third generation. We have the third generation. We have the third generation of the operating system. Okay, so third generation, which started in 1965 to 1980. This was the third generation. So here they used integrated circuit. Under the third generation, which started in 1965 to 1980, they used integrated circuit, which is IC. Okay, so they used integrated. Okay, so here they use integrated circuits, okay, as the operating system. Okay, and then there we have the fourth generation. Okay, now we have the fourth generation of the operating system. We have the fourth generation of the operating system, which started in 1980 until since. Okay, until now. Okay, so we have the fourth generation, which started in 1980 until now. Under the fourth generation, they are using what we call PC. PC means personal computer. Okay, PC means personal computer. Okay, so it means personal computer. Now, when you look at the fourth generation came with the aspect of the personal computer. Under here, we have seen the coming of operating systems such as Linux. We have seen the coming of the operating system such as Ubuntu. We have seen the coming of Windows. Okay, here we have seen the coming of Windows. Okay, maybe it could be Windows 10, Windows 7, 8, Windows 10, Windows 10 Pro, 11, and so on and so forth. So this is under the 4th generation of the operating system. Okay. Now, these changes of the operating system are coming with the speed of these operating systems. So, looking at where we are coming from, okay, so the speed of the operating system changes. We are coming from 0 generation where they were using wheels and gears in order for the machine, which is a computer, to run effectively. They were using wheels and gears. Okay, so we expect wheels and gears to be slow. Okay, so they are much slow. So when they introduced the first generation, where they started using the vacuum tube, we expect the operating system or the operation of the machine to be faster as compared to the 0 generation. Again, when they introduced the 2nd generation, it was in 1955 to 1965, where they brought transistors and batch system. Again, the speed of the machine becomes faster as compared to the 1st generation. And then they also introduced the 3rd generation of the operating system, which was in 1965 to 1980, where they brought now the use of integrated circuit. Under the integrated circuit, here again, we expect the machineries, the computers, to learn faster, okay, to learn faster as compared to the 2nd generation and 3rd generation. Again, the coming of the 4th generation, where they introduced PC, which is personal computer, we expect now the machinery to be more faster as compared to the 0 generation, 1st generation, 2nd generation, 3rd generation. Here, under the 4th generation, they started using the PC, which is a personal computer. They started using operating systems such as Linux, which is more faster and efficient. They also started using Ubuntu. All these operating systems are fast and efficient, convenient, and so on. And then also they have ability to evolve. And then also under 4th generation, we have seen the coming of Windows as operating system. Okay, Windows is also efficient, convenient, and ability to evolve. Okay, so these are the generations of computers. So guys, we started by looking at the objectives of the operating system, and we proceeded by looking at the generations of computers. Thank you for being part of this video. Make sure you don't miss the next video. Enjoy. Thank you.